What is going on YouTube? Today we are going to cover the best method at the moment to grind out the XP for character levels and squad ranks in the new Suicide Squad game. I have recently got the Platinum Trophy for this game and the video on that experience will drop soon. As for this video, I wanted to show the best method I found for all forms of leveling. If it helps at all, please do like and leave a comment. I was not able to actually locate a good guide on how to farm XP, as they all involve killing low XP enemies over and over again or abusing a certain side mission. I clean up missions as I play through the story in most games and ended up completing this before I realised the true grind ahead. Suicide Squad doesn't let you actually replay this mission, so I got locked out of this XP farm. However, the comments on these videos were mixed, so I was not that fussed honestly. So with that cheese strat covered and put in the bin, we're going to go over what I'd done to grind out those levels. First and foremost, let's talk about a few things worth mentioning prior to gameplay grinds. We need to cover some great ways to get additional XP on absolutely everything that you do. We're talking in some cases over 250% increase, which we are going to need for sure. The first big tip is when you max out your main, most people would think that they would move on to the next character. However, I personally would not do this for a few reasons. Reason 1 is when you start unlocking squad level ranks, the Paragon system I think it's technically called, you can put points into passive overall XP boosts. At squad rank 50 for the trophy, you are taking a flat 25% increase if you invest all your points into this. Only when you cap out the XP rank and need to level up a character more to unlock some more XP rank slots would I focus on doing some side missions with the low level characters for Promethean, which you'll also need a lot of. This way you really utilise the XP boosts on the leveling of the characters, which is great, especially for characters you don't like playing. Harley, I'm looking at you. Huh? Tip 2 is to change your difficulty as soon as they become available. As you progress through these missions and the main story, you will be able to unlock higher difficulties. There is a significant XP boost, and honestly, the difficulty is not that much different, so it's definitely worth doing. Tip number 3 is an obvious one, but as you probably noticed, some of the gear has XP boosts in the stats. If the difference is actually not that great, but removes this stat, don't equip the item. For example, losing a percentage XP boost for 30 shield is not worth it. Tip number 4 is come end game, you will unlock some side missions that you can only play once. These are missions like taking out the big turrets on the map. Do not do these with your main. Instead, these are for your low level characters, as they are a fixed amount of XP and can shoot your characters through those early levels. With that out of the way, we should probably start to cover the actual method itself. It is a shame to say that as of right now there is no real super quick and easy exploit. It will take a fair few hours of grinding out a few missions over and over, so it's best to just whack on some music and slowly work through. Let's talk about the missions. There are 3 that we are going to focus on, and then 1 that we will do every so often, and I will explain that shortly. The main 3 that we need are these that unlock at the end of the game in the bottom left of the map. As you can see, these missions offer significantly more XP than any other mission. It is scaled to my character, but you are looking at around 3 to 5 times more XP per run. The next question of course is how do we get Promethean quickly so I can just sit in these side missions as long as possible. The best way by far is to chase these cargo nauts scattered around the city at completely random locations. They can be hard to spot, but you are looking for a light orange Half-Life looking monster on the buildings and roofs. As you can see, I collected quite a few over a couple of runs and ended up comfortably in the 10k range consistently. There is no set areas for these spawns. I did notice however that more were spawning around the stadium and the edges of the city connected to it. Something worth mentioning is these do not come up on location scan either, so you can't actually just find these easily. Ignore the Looternaut scan, these are not the ones that you're looking for. You just have to find them simply by looking. So the reason you want to focus these is they drop a whole side mission's worth of Promethean, and sometimes more for simply shooting them, and you can get a fair few of these on a good run. Do a side mission and repeat. Also, don't forget to collect your daily reward from the Hall of Justice and complete Raising Hell tasks, as when they are all complete you'll get a nice chunk of Promethean. Now back to the missions we need to do, as we have loads of Promethean. There is a mastery system, and this basically means every time you complete these at a certain difficulty, a couple more difficulties will unlock, giving more XP as you keep rising. You're going to rotate these 3 missions and power through them on repeat. I got to around mastery level 35 for each of them by the time of getting the trophy, and then towards the end I opted to just repeat a single mission at a certain rank. The reason we focus these three in particular is because they are the quickest to complete, especially when you learn the roots and cheese strats. You do want to rotate these missions as it is the best way to gain finite levels, which in return will unlock mastery ranks a little bit quicker. You want to aim to be able to get to around mastery level 25-30 and be able to blast through them comfortably. So again, I personally would encourage getting to where I got to, which was around mastery level 30 to 35 on each, so it makes it much easier to go through these ranks just a bit lower. You'll notice these missions are offering around 70k experience a pop at these ranks. This is where you want to really only focus on one mission, as that is a hell of a lot of experience. The mission we need is this one, The World's Unfair. It is by far the quickest and easiest to complete. So the big question is, why do we stop at around this level? The reason is because at these ranks the difference between each mastery is around 1 to 1.5k experience, which at the later levels really is nothing, but the difficulty jump is actually quite crazy. So when you get XP taken away for getting knocked down or failing the mission, you in the end will lose out. The aim now at highish ranks is to consistently repeat at around 70k experience and be able to do it easily without going down. The headache and time that you save by flying through these missions at a slightly lower level will more than make up for the 1k experience you're missing out on. Rinse and repeat this mission in particular. I personally would use King Shark due to his mobility when it comes to the objective, but also I found he was the easiest one to get the mission done by applying an OP effect called Diablo Blaze. You can find many guides on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it will get nerfed soon, but Diablo Blaze definitely made this grind a lot easier. So at level 45 squad rank, repeating this mission 3 times at around 4 minutes a go, I would be able to level up twice. So now that we're at this stage of rinsing and repeating from whatever rank that you are, there is one more mission that you will want to keep an eye out for. This one is the mission that unlocks at a certain finite rank in Central Park. The reason we want to do this one is because it's only 500 Promethean to enter, but it can pay out thousands of Promethean and offers slightly more XP than those 3 missions we have been farming. And it is also very easy to complete, as it is just a survival based mode where you can exit through a portal at the top of the map whenever you're ready. But for the cost of entry and return on XP in Promethean, you do want to do this mission occasionally. I noticed I was doing this once a day, as there was a cooldown on the total payout. Completing side missions and doing other bits around the map eventually put this payout back to what we want. The big one, however, is to completely avoid the Brainiac mission where you get to keep fighting him. It does offer the most XP, but it costs 3000 Promethean to enter. This mission also takes the longest to complete. It has the highest chance of dying and losing the most amount of Promethean and XP, and then when you look at the difference from the other missions, it doesn't really add up for the 3 times cost entry. So replaying that one mission 3 times will generate over double the Brainiac mission XP, but also take probably under half the time. So my suggestion, completely ignore this mission apart from when you're forced to do it. If you have planned everything correctly and are really utilising the XP bonuses, ranks, difficulty and things like that, you will be able to really maximise the most out of the experience you do gain and level up in the quickest possible time at the moment. Like I said earlier, it is still one hell of a grind, and the only reason is limited mission variation. The combat is great and I really enjoy the game, but replaying these same missions over and over does get tedious, so try not to burn yourself out. Eventually, however, you are going to end up with the levels you need, and I could not find any quicker way to do this at the moment. If this helps you, then please do leave a like and a comment, and if you are interested in the Platinum Experience video for this game, then be sure to subscribe.
我很喜欢冰淇淋。